So here in Ohio, we've had a very bipolar week as far as the weather goes. The week started off fairly chilly, even got some snow, surprisingly, which was the first snowfall here in Ohio. And then later on in the week, it actually warmed up to be in the 70s. So if you guys want to know what fragrances I put out throughout the week, stay tuned. Hey, what's going on, guys? Hunter Lobby here, and welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, glad to have you here. And if you are new, what I do is I make fragrance related content, such as unboxings, first impressions, weekly fragrance rotations, reviews, and things like that. So if any of that stuff interests you at all, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, guys, as you can tell by the intro, we're going to be doing my weekly fragrance rotation video. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. So starting the week off on Sunday, as we always do in our weekly fragrance rotation videos, on Sunday it was actually pretty cold and we actually got our first snowfall. So we got a little bit of snow, which was always nice to see when it first snows. And I actually pulled out my favorite fall fragrance out of my entire collection, guys. And I haven't worn this in a while, so it was a perfect time to pull it out since it snowed and stuff. And the fragrance I pulled out for Sunday is Creed's Royal Oud, guys. Man, there's not enough that I can even talk about this fragrance, to be honest with you. If you've been around my channel, you know I absolutely adore this fragrance here. Oh my goodness, it's so good. It's a very woody fragrance. You're gonna get a lot of cedar wood, sandalwood, and a little bit of agarwood, which is oud in the dry down there. It opens up pretty citrusy with the lemon and stuff. And this is just a masterpiece in a bottle, guys. This is also probably the most expensive fragrance that I've ever got my nose on as far as the way it comes across. It is very gentlemanly, and it just works wonders in the fall and winter time. But mostly in the fall, I would rock this. Yeah, but it's so good. I went with 4 sprays around my neck with this fragrance here. And on that day, I actually went shopping. I actually went to Saks Fifth Avenue and got my nose on a couple of new fragrances I haven't smelled before. And I decided to obviously pull this one out. You cannot go wrong with Creed's Royal Oud, guys. So yeah, that's what I went with on Sunday. Let's head on over to Monday now. So Monday, it was also a fairly chilly day, but I was pretty much at work the entire day. And then after that, didn't really do anything. But I decided to pull out another fantastic fall fragrance for the day. And the fragrance I rocked was Jo Malone's Myrrh and Tonka, guys. Wow. Now this is probably, one word to describe this fragrance would be smooth. Just the myrrh and the tonka combination, oh, it's incredible. It is so good. And I went with also 4 sprays around the neck with this fragrance here. I did not get any compliments, unfortunately, but this isn't the strongest fragrance out there as far as like projecting and stuff, since it is just so smooth. It does stay fairly close to the skin, but having a fragrance that smells this good, I honestly don't even mind it if I can smell it around me when I walk around and just get whiffs of it. It's an absolute pleasure to wear Myrrh and Tonka. Definitely check this one out if you are a fan of either Myrrh and Tonka. This is a must-have in your collection. Okay, so Tuesday now, I was also at work pretty much most of the day. And then after work, I actually went to an election party with some people. But the fragrance I rocked for Tuesday, which was also a pretty chilly day, is Armav's Club de Nuit Intense Man Eau de Parfum, guys. Wow. I just recently acquired this in my collection, and I think this is like one of the first times I've actually rocked it out. And man, oh man, this is a fantastic aventus clone. If you're familiar with the original Eau de Toilette, this is even better as far as the way it comes across, and as far as like copying aventus, this is probably the one you're gonna want to get. From my testing though, to be honest with you, everything's good as far as longevity goes, as far as the smell goes over the original. But I think the only downside with this one is projection, guys. I think the EDT projects a tiny bit more than the Eau de Parfum. So if you're just looking for a monster projector, I would say probably go with the Eau de Toilette over the Eau de Parfum. But this still performs absolutely amazing. So on Tuesday, I went with 4 sprays for work. It lasted me the entire day. After work, I came home and I actually applied another 4 sprays in the same spots because like I said, I went out to an election party. And yeah, I was with my mom, and my mom actually said, "What are you wearing? You had like the whole bottle on?" Hey, I guess it was that strong. So yeah, if you're looking for a great versatile sort of like aventus DNA. Definitely check out the EDP of this fragrance. If you want to know a little bit more about it, you go check out my first impression of this fragrance as well. But that's what I went with on Tuesday, was Club de Nuit Eau de Parfum. All right, heading on into Wednesday now. Now on Wednesdays, I do not work. It's actually one of my off days. So I actually pulled out a fragrance that I haven't got to wear that much, since it usually leans more in the spring and summer, I believe. But since I was just pretty much relaxing at home most of the day, I pulled out Roja Parfums Elysium right here. Wow, this fragrance. Ooh, this smells so luxurious, guys. Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And the way Roja Dove, who is the perfumer behind the brand, the way he perfumes his fragrances, guys, you know how fragrances have 3 stages. You have like the top notes, middle notes, and then like the dry down, and they usually change. Now this here, wow, this fragrance just changes from each category. Like top notes, it will change so much to the middle notes, and then to the dry down. It is amazing. And actually, I believe like in the top, it's very fruity, citrusy. People say it kind of smells like Creed Aventus. I don't think that at all, in my opinion. This is pretty much a masterpiece in and of itself. But yeah, in the dry down, it does dry down to a little bit like kind of like woody and whatnot that you can pull off in the fall and winter time. So I'm saying this fragrance here is an absolute gem in my opinion. I'm so glad to have this in my collection. This is also the first one that I own by Roja Parfums, and I am so happy with this fragrance, guys. I cannot wait to obviously pull this out when the weather starts warming up again, since we are heading into snowy days. And I don't think this works the best for that, but I did go with 2 sprays. Went pretty light just because I was around the house and just wanted to smell it just by myself pretty much. I got no compliments with it, of course, since I wasn't really around anyone. But yeah, that's what I pulled off on my off day on Wednesday, was Elysium by Roja Parfums. So Thursday now. So I was at work Thursday all day pretty much. And the weather, I believe it was actually warming up, but I pulled out a newer fragrance to me in my collection. And the fragrance I rocked for Thursday at work was Versace Eros. Wow, this fragrance here actually shocked me, to be honest. The performance of this is unbelievable. And this is actually a 2020 batch. And I would just smell this so strong throughout my whole 10-hour shift, even towards the end. It is that unbelievable in the performance category. So a lot of people say this fragrance has been reformulated and it doesn't perform that well. And that's why they came out with the Eau de Parfum version. But do not believe that, guys. I'm telling you right now, this is a 2020 batch and this thing performs outstanding. And I only went with 4 sprays around my neck. And I actually got a compliment on this fragrance and also gave a compliment that day. But one of my coworkers was like, wow, that smells absolutely amazing and it's so strong. What are you wearing? And I explained to her that it was Versace Eros. And just the sweetness that this fragrance gives off is absolutely incredible in my opinion. I'm just actually blown away by this fragrance. And another one of my coworkers, an older gentleman, he was actually wearing 1 Million by Paco Rabanne. And I was like, hey man, are you wearing 1 Million? He's like, yeah, I actually am. Do you know that fragrance? I'm like, yeah, that's actually a good choice. Even though I don't even own it, but the 1 Million DNA is just so unique in my opinion. And that fragrance actually pretty much goes hand to hand with Versace Eros as far as being like the best clubbing fragrance. So I thought that was pretty funny. But I did give him a compliment on that fragrance. I knew exactly what he was wearing without him even telling me. But yeah, that's pretty much what I rocked for Thursday at work, was Versace Eros. So on Friday, which was my last work day, I actually wanted to pull out something very powerful. Even though the weather was a little bit warm, even though I work in a climate controlled area, so you could pretty much pull off your like winter and fall fragrances since it is pretty chilly in the building that I work at. But I actually pulled out probably the strongest fragrance out of my entire collection on that day. Just wanted to end the week strong. And the fragrance I'm speaking about is Montal's Intense Black Oud, guys. Wow, this stuff is absolutely nuclear. I'm telling you right now, this thing will choke out crowds around you. And I actually went pretty heavy for a fragrance like this. I actually went with 4 sprays again. Pretty much try to keep the spray routine the same throughout the week, 4 sprays around my neck. And I actually tried something different. I go 1 spray on each side of my neck, and actually this week I tried spraying in the front of my neck so it projects out in front of me if I'm speaking to somebody. then obviously one in the back of the neck that leaves a nice sillage trail behind you. So when people are walking behind you, they can get smells of it. But this is an amazing rose and oud combo, the classic rose and oud combo, guys. And right here it does it so perfectly well. And the intense version of this, I know the original Black Oud is also a beast of a fragrance, but the intense is actually an extrait de parfum, as you can see right there. So this stuff is very, very concentrated, and wow. But unfortunately, I got no compliments with it. This isn't really a crowd pleaser by any stretch of the means, guys. So if you're looking to pretty much get a compliments with fragrances, even though this is very, very powerful, this will most likely not get you any compliments unless they love either rose, because it's heavy on the rose, even more than the oud I pick up. Even though it is pretty masculine in my opinion, it's like a nice dark rooty rose. So you can pull this off if you're a guy, 100%. Don't worry about that. But this is not a crowd pleaser by any means. So no compliments. That doesn't really bother me, of course. I usually wear fragrances for myself. But yeah, that's what I rocked on the last work week, was Black Oud Intense by Montal. All right, so heading into the last day, Saturday. Now, I obviously was not at work. I pretty much was at home, and then I made a trip, like an hour away trip to IKEA, had to pick up some things. And the fragrance I put out for this, it was also, I believe, in the 70s on that day, so pretty warm and sunny actually, which is nice. And I put out a fragrance I honestly do not wear that often. I'm not sure why. Probably because I have colognes of it that pretty much smell very similar, and this fragrance is very expensive, so I kind of usually save it for like special occasions and whatnot. But the fragrance I'm speaking about, you guys might know what it is. It is the King Creed Aventus. So yeah, I love wearing this fragrance, and when I put it on Saturday, I remember why this is still the king, and no clones even come close to this fragrance, in my opinion. As far as the way it comes across, it's so natural to my nose. Not synthetic like Club de Nuit Intense, man. Even though that is a fantastic fragrance as well and does smell very, very similar to this, but this is still the king for a reason. It is the original Aventus, obviously. This is a 19S31 batch, if you guys are curious, which is known to be like the best batch of 2019, and this thing performs absolutely incredible. And I would say this is a balanced batch as far as the fruitiness, the citrusness, and the smokiness with the birch. This is a perfectly balanced batch in my opinion, and I still have a lot of this juice. I haven't worn it that much. This is the 100 ml bottle, but I did go with 4 sprays as usual throughout the week around my neck again, and this thing honestly gets me so many compliments, even though on that day I did not get any compliments, unfortunately. Obviously it's going to be like that most of the time, since a lot of people wearing masks. Since I was rocking around the mall, IKEA, everyone had a mask on, so it's obviously they're not gonna be able to pick it up as much as they would without a mask, of course. But yeah, 4 sprays, no compliments, but I was smelling this throughout the entire day, and it was an absolute joy. So it's always a pleasure to pull out Aventus. This just lifts your moods, guys. So if you want a fragrance that just makes you happy and just brings you confidence, definitely check out Aventus, guys. It is so good. It's so masculine in my opinion. But yeah, that's gonna end the weekly fragrance rotation with Aventus there. So if you guys liked the video, please give it a like. Let me know down below what fragrances you guys rock throughout the week. I'm definitely curious to know. And yeah, subscribe if you guys have not, and I'll see all you guys in the next upload. Take care, everybody.